So, hello and welcome to my channel where I have 10 new presets for the Novation Peak and I want to share them with you. You can find a download link somewhere in the description, so feel free to grab it. They're free, but you can support me either by watching this video or supporting me via buying me a cup of coffee. Link in the description too. So the first one I named TnTModKeeNoise. Don't ask me why, but yeah, it's called like that. And it sounds like this. So it's a crunchy key patch with some noise. And it has a velocity sensitivity, so you can play it with some dynamics. And all my patches are usually synced to the tempo for the LFOs and the delay, so yeah, I think that's nice. And usually I have one or two or both of the animate buttons that do something. The second one. And it sounds, I think it sounds nice low too. Oh no, that was not this one. Well. And what I like to do is modulate the filter frequency with the third oscillator and put that one quite low, so it gives that low sound. Because if you make it higher, you see, it loses that versus that. Yeah, I like it at the lowest one, and sometimes I even lower it with the coarse tune. But in this case, it's too low. So anyhow, that's the first one, TnTModKeeNoise. It's a soft key patch. And moving on to the second one. Oh, this one is called TnTDisTCareFULL. So yeah, be careful, because it's quite heavy. And right now I'm filtered down quite a bit, so you can hear the LFO, which is tempo synced. So if we put some tempo stuff here, like this kick pattern, I also have the animate buttons. They don't do a lot in this patch, if I recall. I think this first one will add some more of the filter frequency via the mod envelope 1. And then the second one, the second animate button, will add some more of the second oscillator, which will give it more bite. yeah. There's something about this distortion that I really like in the Peak. So yeah, that's the second one. Moving on to the third one, which is called TnTDistopadkey. And it usually means if I use like the pad and the key keywords, that you can make it either a pad or more like a key sound, so with a sharper attack. And I think this one starts with a longer attack. Yes. It is also velocity sensitive, so you can play it dynamically, like very soft. And when you engage the first animate button, it gets more clicky, more short attack. Clearly FM, and it has this nice second animate button. So you can also make it slower by only using the second animate button. Maybe you've already noticed, but I really like this distortion on the Peak, so I'm using it quite often. Especially with the filter down and combined with some filter frequency modulation. So I think that was the third, right? So we had 1, 2, 3, yes, and then we have the fourth, with which is a synced pad. And what I mean by that is that it is synced to the tempo coming from the 707. And yeah, if I remember correctly, this one works well when it is latched. So something like this. Then the LFOs are tempo synced, but they are also modulated by another LFO which is also tempo synced. So you get these nice variations which are all still linked to the main clock. I really like this one. And it's not really meant for, you know, playing or something. Just as a background texture. First animate button. Add some filter drive. And it shortens the amp envelope, so if I would play it. Gets a little bit more versus. So yeah, you can. You can play it if you want to, of course. And the second animate button makes it even more key-like. Gets these nice tempo synced modulations, which I like. And the next one, I think, that's the fifth one. It is called SyncPadKrunch. So again, tempo synced, and this one has this sawtooth LFO, so it will be more obvious. And if you give it some context, it. And if you engage the animate button, gets a little sharper. And the second one adds more drive, I think. FM sounds. Harsh. Ow, wow, wow. I like that. So back to already 30 minutes, so let's move on. This one is called TnTSquared, and I lost count. I think it's the 6th one. Yeah, so it is squared, so it has a lot of square oscillators. I think with this one, what I did was... No, that was not with this one. Okay. Never mind. But there's quite a bit of chorus on this one. So, animate one. Again, some LFOs which are tempo synced, but the second LFO, it has this sample and hold, so it's very random. I like it filtered down. Like this. old pad sound, but yeah, I love it. And then the next one, which is the TnTKeySyntht. Don't ask me why. Oh yeah, do you hear that? This is the one where I have used the third LFO to modulate the reverb level. So that is tempo synced. I love that. I recently sort of discovered this. And I think I have this pattern which works very well. So I'm not going to play this one. Yeah. This one is using velocity for the filter frequency via the amp envelope. So the louder I play, the harder I play, the more it opens the filter. Sorry, you're not getting the subsequent, of course, but... This is what happens when you like jam with yourself. You get inspired by this sound. So let me just stop it for a second. And yeah, so you start jamming and lose time, but that's good, I think. Without the animate one. Sure what this one is supposed to do. Oh right, it's adding some frequency modulation between the first and the second oscillator, but it is doing it via a tempo synced LFO. So minimum effect sometimes and sometimes more effect, so that's good. The second animate button, which will add a little bit of V-sync with the second LFO. And yeah, that's about it, I think. Yes. Ooh, nice. Okay, on to the next one, which is TsquaredTouch. Don't ask me why. I have this like a little bit ping pong delay, but it is not like every other one. But it is, let's see, 3 to 4. Really nice. And I had to never mind. mind, that was not this patch. Oh yes, this one does something, and it is changing the oscillator shape of the first oscillator via the mod envelope 2. And maybe it also, yes, it also adds distortion via the velocity. Which is nice. And then the second animate button makes it pad. I think it's nicer with the first animate off. This one. Ooh. Yeah, I like it. So, on to the next one, which is LeaderX. And I think I did the same trick here with the reverb level, but it's only when you have animate 1 on. It does more, but it also engages this like bouncing reverb. Wop, wop, wop. So I like that. Second animate button. And I know you can also like do it with a filter frequency usually to give it more dynamics, but I think it's nice to dial in a very specific setting, and also this animate button gives you more options, like to change more things at once, so I really like that. And I think the next one, yeah, that's the last one. The next one, it's called TnTDistilLead. So probably something distorted and lead. Oh yeah. So it can go from this boxy nasal sound to this wild. Screaming thing, and just the turn of a knob. And then let's try animate. And I did the same trick again. I used the animate 1 in this case via the noise to change the reverb level, and it gives a little bit of, if I this nice texture. It's quite low, but it's just a little, which I like. nice. So it's already 26 minutes. This is my next pack of 10 presets for the Novation Peak. So they're free again. If you like them and you want to use them, feel free to support me either by watching this whole video and or buying me a cup of coffee with the link in the description. So that's it for today. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.